Hey everyone, welcome back to AFTV. Welcome to a Predicted 11 video with me and Turkish. How you doing?
Good.
We're outside Villa Park. We're here. We're in Birmingham. We're here at Villa Park. Arsenal need to bounce back against Villa. That trip, 12:30 kickoff in the UK time. Wherever you're watching around the world, of course, we know all these global gooners around the world are getting up at all sorts of times to watch Arsenal, and they need to put a show on for them because, look, I think we gave a good account of ourselves against Liverpool, but we lost ultimately. We lost, and in the grand scheme of things, there's nothing to show for it. I'm going to talk about the predicted 11, and I'm going to challenge you on whether there are a few positions we might want to rotate in. Let's start with the goalkeeper. Ramsdale did make an error in the game against Liverpool. And I think one he'll be really disappointed with because I think it just set the tone for the rest of that second half. But he keeps his place, I imagine.
Has to. Listen, I've seen a couple of people say Leno's the better shot stopper. It is what it is. What Ramsdale brings is much bigger than the difference between shot stopping between them. Ramsdale will be very disappointed with himself. But it's also character building, Ramsdale hasn't been in a side that's challenging for top four, so he has to learn from this. And so far, so good in terms of his character and his impact so far this season. So I'll look over that one. You said the fans need a show. I'm not necessarily after a show. I just want the 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, 3 points would be a show for me, quite frankly. If I can leave here with 3 points on the board, I'm delighted. A quick one on Ramsdale. I thought his distribution was good the other day, though. What did you make of it?
Yeah, a couple of hairy moments, which he's kind of been having this calendar year.
Yeah.
But in general, distribution was good.
Finds Martinelli often, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He knows that they've got a good understanding of when he gets the ball, where Martinelli's going to be and with the space he's got to hit.
It's one of our biggest threats.
Yeah, it is,
in terms of building an attack or giving the opposition something to worry about.
Yeah.
When Ramsdale gets the ball now, you can see players turning around over their shoulder. Where's Martinelli? Where's Saka? So it's an asset. Yeah,
very true. Let's go into the back four. Cedric, I thought, had an interesting role, was pressing a lot more on Robertson in the Liverpool game, getting quite high up, but ultimately left us a bit exposed for their first goal. But I think he did okay.
It wasn't. I wouldn't put blame on him.
No.
At the end of the day, that Liverpool game came down to a couple moments.
Yeah.
And those couple moments, I look at other players over Cedric. The first goal being Ramsdale, the second goal being Gabriel, and partly Saka with the naivety and keeping the ball in play. Cedric, for me, it is what it is. We hope Tomiyasu's back, and when Tomiyasu is back, he comes straight back in. But we just don't know his condition. One day, he's nearing a return, and the next he's not in the squad.
I've got to say, we actually got to talk about that for a sec, because I think for a lot of these predicted 11s we've done, we've been saying, well, if fit, bring him in, because it's always felt like maybe something a bit more short term than maybe we originally thought. This has become a long-term injury now. I mean, really, apart from a couple games in 2022, he's spent most of this calendar year injured.
Yeah.
It feels to me, until we see him in the bench, we can't even discuss him potentially coming to the lineup.
Yeah, I agree. Cedric starts against Villa.
There we go. White and Gabriel, I imagine, keep their place.
Yeah.
I thought they did a good job keeping Liverpool's front three relatively quiet, to be fair to them.
Yeah, they did. The whole team did well in nullifying Liverpool for long periods in that game. Ben White, Gabriel in particular. It's just like I mentioned, Gabriel for that second goal. Yeah. Maybe I guess it's part of trying to play the way that Arteta wants to play, or not just Arteta, the way modern football wants you to play. So I guess some of that goes on Gabriel, but overall they did have a good game. It's not often you see Liverpool's attack nullified from all angles.
Very true, and they absolutely were. I mean, to the point where Jurgen Klopp, and I mentioned in Tactical Insight, he's swapping Mane and Diaz wings, halfway through because that's not working. And then he goes and brings on Firmino and Salah. Even though Jota scored, he said, no, I'm still not happy with it.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest compliment you can pay to Arsenal's defensive structure and how much we nullified what's quite frankly their biggest threat. Tierney's going to keep his place at left back, I imagine, but do we want to maybe see a slight tweak to his role in that we want to see him getting forward a bit more? We know how good he can be when he almost makes it look so obvious, but he'll drop the shoulder and he'll beat you. But every time he does, and he gets the ball into the box, do we maybe not want to see a change in his position or see Tavares come in, but we want to see a change to his role?
Yes and no. The yes being when Tomiyasu comes back, the no being I think he's the sturdier option to slot in as a free over Cedric.
Oh, I see what you mean with Tomiyasu, because he's slotting in to kind of help the other two.
It allows Tierney to go up there. Whereas when Tomiyasu's not there, Cedric's the one. Maybe that's seen as more the liability defensively, so maybe give him more freedom. Tierney tucks in. And Tierney against Liverpool, it was one of his best games this season.
I thought he was very
nullified
good, yeah.
Diaz, nullified Salah.
Yeah.
If there's any two to nullify this season, it's those two. Massive.
It's a very good point. I think he's looking a lot safer in possession recently as well. That's what I've liked. I've had one criticism of him the last year is you look at his ball retention. It tends to be one of the worst in the Arsenal teams. He's got that kind of get it out mentality. But last couple of games, I think he's shown a real kind of confidence on the ball, which has been great to see. Then I think it gets more interesting as we move into midfield, because Smith Rowe is still our top goal scorer. Pepe, we know, is still dangerous. I think we agree Partey, Xhaka keep their places, unless there's anything you want to mix up or rotate.
No,
Do we think about rotation?
No, not for Partey and Xhaka. I think, it's not like we have an abundance of games to go.
Yep.
It's not like we've had an abundance of games in this calendar year. Yes, we're coming up to 3 in a week. But, these players should be ready for that. And I think Partey, Xhaka, in terms of their experience, we need that. So they start.
I think Xhaka was really good against Liverpool, and I think actually he's been good all season, to be honest, apart from one or two moments here and there. But I do think Lokonga's got a little bit more natural guile for the position Xhaka's being asked to play. Like, I think Lokonga's got a bit more natural flair and a bit of kind of trickery about him. So I do wonder whether Lokonga would come in and would necessarily be worse, but I think Xhaka gives us that stability, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's Arteta's man.
He is Arteta.
In an ideal world, you know my feelings on Xhaka, and I would have want Lokonga to come in this season and take over that position, make it his own, and we're not having a conversation here.
Yeah.
But he hasn't. Out of the 6 signings I've mentioned before, Lokonga's the one yet to kind of prove himself or give us something to believe in.
Sure.
So Xhaka starts by default, and over the last few games, a new position, he's done decent in that new position. It's not for him, and I don't want him to be in that position moving forward next season and whatnot. But I guess in that position, his deficiencies are not as exposed as they are if it's the last man behind in front of the back line.
That's what I think too.
But on top, he hasn't given the ball away. He hasn't, as much as...
I thought he was very good against Liverpool. And when you're playing against one of the highest pressers, he's playing on Henderson's side as well. I thought Xhaka more than held his own, to be fair.
Yeah, he does a job now. You can see he's there to do a job, and that's more to pick up spaces, to create spaces for others.
Do you remember he used to look like the midfielder that everyone would target when he had the ball because he wasn't as mobile or whatever? But now I'm looking, he looks like he's got loads of time on the ball. Now, I don't know if that's because he's looking after it better, naturally, or whether also Arteta's helped coach him into spaces that he's going to get more time.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Fair enough.
He's more in spaces where he's going to get more time and more...
There you go. Odegaard keeps his place?
Yeah. I'm surprised he came off against Liverpool, if I'm honest with you.
I was too, actually.
I don't think that was the right choice, especially when you're chasing a goal. But Odegaard starts, he's growing game on game, month on month. He's one of the ones that, moving into the future, he's going to be key for us.
I think the front three gets really interesting now because, we're probably going to go up against, maybe Callum James at right back. That would be fun. Lucas Digne at left back, we know likes to get forward. He'll be an outlet for them. You've got Pepe, who can do something out of nothing, and at a ground like this and against a team like this where it could get a bit touch and go, you might want a player like that. Saka, I don't think was great against Liverpool, but he's kind of had these moments where wasn't great against Liverpool, was fine against Leicester, was great against Watford. I didn't think was great against Wolves before that. Like because he's very young.
Yeah.
But it's been a little patchy of late. But then you feel like you can't drop him.
Yeah.
Martinelli was patchy, but then gets a great goal against Watford, was good against Leicester, superb against Liverpool. Lacazette, works harder than anyone else and looks after the ball. But it's like, do you remember that moment where I think Tierney swung a ball into space and Lacazette was running onto it, but all he could really do was kind of turn back in field. And it's like a real, dynamic athletic striker nods that into his path and is going at goal, even with that chance where he nearly goes round Alisson. Is it time, I'm going to test you on this, to maybe look at Martinelli or Pepe up front?
I think so. People might say that's reactionary, but I think it's not only this game that against Liverpool that I feel like Lacazette's deficiencies cost us. We always talk about what Lacazette brings, and credit to him this season and over the last couple of years, where he's moulded himself in a different model of striker where in comparison to Oba this season, he did bring more.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think it's also, fair to talk about what he doesn't bring. There's a moment when Martinelli cuts him from the left-hand side, nutmeg, great little flip-flap, and then there's no one in the 6-yard box. A moment straight after that, a back pass from Thiago. He picks it
I
up,
agree.
But
we have
he
chances.
hasn't got
they don't go on the XG board, but those moments you mentioned, they're chances.
Of course, big chances at that. So I just feel like maybe it's time. Maybe, Arteta did flirt with the Emil Smith-Rowe false 9. That's probably, if he is going to change it up, that's what I'd go for. I'd just make one change, and it's Lacazette to come out for Emil Smith-Rowe.
You wouldn't move Martinelli out of position up front?
No, I'll do it like that because I feel like that naturally will have Emil Smith-Rowe float into the left with Martinelli cutting back inside. I saw that with Martinelli and Oba at times when they used to play left-hand side and up top. That's what I'd expect to see if those two start.
Okay, so this is a predicted 11.
Yeah.
So what do we think he's going to go with? But then what do you want to go with?
He'll go with Lacazette.
He'll go with Lacazette, and then you think he'll sit with Saka and Martinelli?
Saka's a funny one because Saka was poor against Liverpool, and I think that type of performance was coming. I think we relied heavily upon him, and he's a young man, a lot of pressure on his shoulders, and this game, it can come. Now the choice is: do you take him out and give Pepe a little chance? But the Aston Villa game is massive at the same time. That sort of a decision, I feel like if he was to take Lacazette out and put Emil Smith-Rowe up top and we was to lose the game or draw the game, I don't think people turn to Arteta and say, oh, why did you do that? Whereas I think like if you don't play Saka and then we lose or draw the game, that's a decision where people will look and be like, oh, well, we didn't play Saka. So I think that one's a big decision. But my prediction is he was upset with the fixture congestion. Which means he's thinking about it.
What did you make of that very quickly? I've got to be honest, I didn't like it. I just thought...
I feel like he's bringing this kind of us against the world attitude and that mentality.
Listen, all winners have it.
Yeah, so I feel like that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah, probably,
So I'll take that with a pinch of salt. But in reality, next season, if we're in Europe, we're going to be getting Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday games every single week. So get used to it. Prediction, Saka will start against Villa.
My prediction is actually slightly different. Like what I think will happen. I think we could see Lacazette keep his place. I think we could see Martinelli on the right trying to expose Digne getting forward and Smith around the left. I could see, what you just said about if you leave Saka out, people ask questions. I don't think they'll ask the questions if it's Smith-Rowe that comes in. I think fans could understand Smith-Rowe's our top goal scorer. Saka's not been at his very best. He's played a lot of football. Martinelli's devastating on both wings. Did very well against United and Newcastle on the right. I wouldn't be surprised if he went with that, just to mix it up a little bit. Yeah,
because listen, we need to freshen it up in a sense where we need to keep the opposition on their toes as well.
Even when you're winning, you've got to freshen it up.
And it's international break after this, so we can get a win. We forget that Liverpool game. Man United, Tottenham, they forget that Liverpool game because we've just picked up another 3 points. United ain't playing this weekend, so we build more on that lead. And I just think changing it up, showing something different, can kind of put some more pressure on the Tottenhams and United as well. Because the main thing from January was, are they going to have the firepower? So far, we have. The Liverpool was a setback, but against Liverpool, even if we bought someone in January, it's not a divine right to win against Liverpool home or away. So this Aston Villa game, get the 3 points.
Do you know what's funny? Is everyone talks about Liverpool, Tottenham, Chelsea being our games in hand. The way it's worked out, because United don't play this weekend, actually Villa's become the game in hand.
Yeah.
So,
and when we play Chelsea away, the day before, United have Liverpool away.
Well, there you go. So it's all kind of simmering nicely, dare I say.
Yeah, and Tottenham looks like he'll be in May. And by then, who knows? Hopefully it's wrapped up.
You hope by then it's in a position where it's like all but done. Even if you never want to lose a North London derby, but even if it's not going to derail us. So let's see how it all pans out. But that's a predicted 11, guys. Let us know in the comment section. What do you think of my little theory? Could Martinelli come to the right with Smith-Rowe coming in? I think Smith-Rowe's long due a little bit of a run in the first team. He's been brilliant all season. So let us know what you guys think. Smash a like on this video if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel. Check out all the content that's coming from here at Villa Park. Thank you very much. See you soon.